Hi everyone, thanks for joining our webinar today. Minitab Statistical Software Forecasting with the Time Series Analysis. I'm Noor Salawati. I'm the Technical Support Specialist at Busy System. Busy System are independent representative Minitab for Malaysia, Singapore and Batam, Indonesia. So here a few housekeeping notes before we begin. We have a Q&A session after the presentation. So please submit any question you have and we will try to do our best to answer them. If have time, if no, we will answer afterwards by the email. So we recommend viewing this webinar on your laptop or PC for the best result. So please fill out our survey before you exit the tab. This survey will help us to improve the quality of our upcoming webinar. We record this webinar and upload to our website www.busy.com and YouTube channel Minitab Malaysia and Singapore. So there's no problem if you miss anything or want to review afterwards. Okay, so actually Minitab was developed in 1972. So today Minitab in market for more than 50 years. Okay, so we have a few others product. We have the Minitab Connects for the data transformation and dashboard. So if let's say you want to integrate with your database or something, do the data manipulation before go for the Minitab statistical software. So Minitab Connect will be best for you. And then we have our Minitab statistical software is our flagship product. And then I think you are recognized. We also from the Minitab statistical software. So we have the software predictive modeler for the machine learning and predictive analytic. But some days, some of our algorithm inside the SPM now available in statistical software. We call it them is a predictive analytic module. So it will be have some additional fee for predictive analytic module. And then we have the Minitab model ops for to help for business analytic and engineer successfully implement their own machine learning and predictive models. So Minitab model ops something like after you do the predictive analytic or business analytic project, and then you want to do the something dashboard or something like one. So Minitab model apps for we encourage to have that Minitab models ops. And then we have the Minitab workspace for the visualization tools. They in the workspace actually they have a template like VSM, okay, value stream mapping, FMEA, and so on. So something like you do some DMIC project. So we have a tools inside the DMIC project. So you will use Minitab workspace. And then we have the Minitab Engage, something like additional from the Minitab workspace. We have the dashboard. So in the dashboard, actually, you can monitor your progress of your project. Maybe it's not only for quality improvement for the others project, so you can monitor by Minitab Engage. And then we have the education hub is something like online training. We have a consists of few module. Let's say something like statistical inference, regression, DOE inside the education hub. Okay, and then we have the real-time SPC. So for the real-time SPC, actually, we help you improve and easy in one convenient and comprehensive solution. Mean to say that the real time. So once you have something happen in your production, so real time SPC will encounter that. And then notify you by the email or by SMS or something that one. Okay, so but today we focus on the Minitab statistical software will be the specific topic in the time series. Okay, so actually if let's say you interest with the further to know others product, so feel free to contact us and then we provide the demo information on each the product. Okay, so here some of tools are available in Minitab Statistical software. I think for those are already follow our webinar since the January, I think we already cover for measurement system analysis, for the control chart, and then for the capability analysis. So if let's say you want that or interest on that topic, so we encourage you go to our website www.basic.com or go to our YouTube channel, Minitab Malaysia and Singapore, to review for the last webinar for this measurement system analysis, control chart, and capability analysis. Okay, so we have also for the reliability engineering, and then for information, latest enhancement from the Minitab, we has a new tools, we call it the COP regression inside for the reliability engineering. Okay. And then we have a business analytics. So one of this topic on today is a time series. So hopefully you can spend your time with me to explore more on the time series. Actually, for the statistical, let's say for the regression, we already cover it in our webinar session. Also for the predictive analytics. Okay. So for this, actually, let's say you not have a experimental data, you have the historical data, so you're able to use the statistical modeling to do the prediction. Okay. And then we have something like this for the process validation. Okay, so it will available all the tools in the Minitab. And then here is since we have complete tool for analysis, so our customer coming from various of sector, including manufacturing, academician, services, and so on. Okay. And then, of course, today it's a time series data is providing to be useful for this today in a number of different industry. So whether you are manufacturing services or so on. So I think time series is something like good for you. So however, it's a fitting a specific model. It's not always a straightforward process. So it will require a good look at the series in question and possible trying several different model before identify the best one. So hopefully in 1 hour today, we managed to fulfill this agenda and you will get some idea to help your organization to be the data-driven company. Okay. Okay, so time series is a sequence of observation over space interval of time. Let's say your data in term, you collect in weeks, in days, in hours, in minutes. So we consider that one is the time series. For example, you have, let's say you are procurement engineer, want to forecast the amount of raw material need for the new product launch. Or maybe you have a daily production at manufacturing plan for a month. So mean to say that you collect your data in daily. And then, of course, we use the time series analysis when the response variable in the time series. And then, of course, we want to do the prediction or forecasting. So forecasting is something like you want to extensively in time series analysis to predict the response variable. So for example, in another 3 months, what happened to your production line, what happened to your yield and something like one. So actually, the time series is not involved for the relationship, but it will involve for the pattern. So that's why in the time series, we have a common pattern. Okay, inside the time series, this one is common. Maybe you have others patterns you can get from your study or something, your research, but this one is a common pattern in the time series. The first one is we call it the trend. So trend is something like up and down, whether it's a down, upward trend or down trend. Okay, and then we have another common pattern inside the time series. It will be seasonal. Okay, so something like they will happen in the certain period. So something like it's a fixed. Okay, you have a celebration, something like one. So it will consider that will be have a seasonal. Okay, and then for another way is we call it the cyclic. Okay, so it's the long departure from the trend to the factor understand seasonal. Basically we will be confusing about the seasonal and cyclic. But for the cyclic actually it's no period time. So whether it can be in monthly or maybe it can be quarterly or something that one. It's not have fixed time for the cyclic. And then the another thing is we call it irregular or randomly. So you cannot recognize your pattern, whether it's a trend, whether it's a seasonal, whether it's the cyclic. So that's why the first thing after you collect the data in time series order, the first you can go is like saying we call it the time series plot. Okay, since I mentioned that just now, the time series we look on the pattern. Okay, you want to forecasting using the pattern. So the time series plot to look for a pattern in your data over the time. So such as like trend just now or seasonal, you want to check it on this pattern by using the time series plot. So a time series plot can help us choose a time series analysis to model our data set. So something like after you know about have a trend or seasonal, after that you can proceed with the best model for your data set. Okay, so in the Minitab actually we have two option. Okay, two method to get or to create the time series plot. I go to the Minitab. Okay, so I open my Minitab. Okay, something is not so new. Okay, it's not new in the Minitab. Okay, so you will see on the start. Okay, you will go for the start. You will see the time series. So a lot of type of the analysis we are available in the time series. So in order to create the time series plot, whether you go directly to start time series plot. Okay, or you can choose let's say it's a simple, so you just proceed with the okay, and then you will get this one. Or maybe you can just proceed with the graph. Okay, so you can go for the graph. Maybe you choose the time series plot. Okay, you can choose the time series plot. So it will be two-way whether you want to proceed with the start time series or time series plot, or you can go directly to graph and then you will choose the time series plot. Or maybe after this you want to try with the graph builder, also available in for the time series plot. So we have a many option to get the time series plot in Minitab. Okay. So I tried with this one case study. It's a simple one. A process engineer collect the amount of the material for the 40 months. Okay, so he created the time series plot to visualize the amount of the material to see the existing trend or seasonal pattern in their data set. So I will use this, open this, okay. So we use this data set. Okay, they collect the months, okay, and then the amount of the material itself. Okay, so they want to see the pattern inside this data set. So how to get it? Go to start, go to time series plot. So for this case, we have only one variables. Okay, so we go for the simple. If let's say you have more than one, so you can go proceed with the multiple. Let's say you have a group inside the time series plot, so you will use with the group. Okay, so for this case, I just will go to simple, click OK, and then for this case, I want interest with the material. Okay, just put the material, and maybe you will have the another variables. Here is we have a date for the X variables. You go for the time scales. Okay, and then for this case, I just go for the stem. Okay, so you click on the stem, you click on the data, and click OK, and then click OK. Okay, so I will Okay, so now you will get the time series plot. Okay, so we'll go to stack, go to time series plot. Okay, I choose the simple since I have only one. And then for the material or for the time scale, so the one is something like you want to create your own, okay, or something you won't have the clock or something. But for this case, I just only have the date. Okay, so I create with the date, and then you will get the time series plot. Or the same step for the, if let's say you go for the graph, you go for the time series plot, it will the same dialog box. Okay, and then here, so you can see the any pattern. So you need compare. Okay, you need, maybe you can go based in back to in this pattern. Okay, is it a trend? Is it a seasonal? Is it the cyclic? Is it the irregular? So it will help you on this. Okay, so for this case, we try with this one. Okay, you can see that something like have a trend, but it's not so trend. Okay, maybe have a seasonal. I think it's not seasonal. Okay, maybe have a cyclic. Okay, maybe have some cyclic here. Okay, so that's why in the time series plot, you need to identify which one is the best. Okay, so basically this one is something like you need have additional skill, something like experience on this pattern, something. Okay, so we can get the trend, or you can mention that one is the seasonal, that one is a cyclic, and or maybe irregular, or maybe randomly. Okay, but for this case, maybe I have some pattern trend inside here. Okay, we have up, down, up, down. Okay, so for this case, so you have a need some uh, or you have a need collect more data set in this case. Okay, to recognize the pattern inside here. Okay, so I proceed with this next one. Okay, so after you see this one, so maybe there's no evidence to see have a seasonal effect. So for this case, maybe we can just proceed with the trend. Okay, and then here, maybe you have a multiple series of the plot, so you will use the multiple or group data set. Okay, you have the group. So for this case, we have some, like we have some by the year. Okay, by the yearly, row by the year, we have the 2011 and then 2012. So maybe you want to compare between 2011 and 2012. So that we consider is a multiple. So you can go to start, go back to the time series plot, Now we use the multiple. And then you click OK. So now you will get, or you insert which series you want. Okay, for this case, I want to 2011 and 2012. So for the time scale, so the same. Okay, I go for the stamp. For here is the months, and then click OK, and then click OK. So now you will get the multiple tree. Okay, multiple plotting in the time series. So from this here, you can see, you can compare between 2012 and 2013. Sorry, 2011. Okay, to between 2012 and 2011, 2012 is more highest rather than 2011. Okay, so if let's say you have more than 5, so you can compare it, and then Minitab will trigger with the variables, and it will trigger the color coding on this case. Okay, so maybe here you have something like, okay, I think it's something like cyclic. Okay, so every monthly. Okay, so for example here for the February. Okay, so you have the February, after 2 months or 3 months, it will be back to decrease. Okay, after 2 months or 3 back, we will be to decrease. Okay, so have the pattern inside this one. Okay, so you need to recognize all these before you choose for the model inside. Okay, to do the prediction. Okay, so I go for the next one. Okay, so this one is the after you recognize the pattern. Okay, whether it's trend, seasonal, cyclically or randomly. Okay, so this one is how we analyze in the time series. So the first Minitab offer several analyses. For example, we consider is we use the simple forecasting and the smoothing method. And then the another way is a correlation analysis and ARIMA modeling. So we try for today. Okay, we try for today to focus on the simple forecasting first. Okay, maybe maybe after get some good from you, we can proceed with the ARIMA after maybe next year or something like one. And then for your information, Minitab do some enhancement in Minitab 20 and 21 for the time series. They provide you some additional analysis or additional tools. We call it the augmented key filler test. That one is something like before you go proceed with the ARIMA, they need to have, let's say you need to see the stationary or something like need have the mean and your variance must be a constant. Okay, in order that one, so they provide you augmented the key fuller test. And then Minta also enhance, they will proceed with the something like best ARIMA model for you. So no need go one by one. So they automate give you the best model for this ARIMA. So no worries, I will open the Minitab and you will see about these features. Okay, so Minitab, let's say you have that kind of the function. So now you will use the Minitab 20 or 21. So you can see, go for the time series, you will see we have the augmented key fuller test, and then we have the forecast with the best ARIMA model. So we have additional tools inside time series menu in the Minitab. Starting with Minitab 20, I think we have this kind of the features. Okay. Okay, so we go for the first one, is the simple forecasting and smoothing method. So this one is the simple, is you can easy to observe in the time series plot of the data. Just now we use something that time series plot to recognize the common pattern. Okay, so and then we decomposes data into the component part. Okay, then extend the estimate for the common component into the future to provide the forecasting. So for example here, if let's say you have the trend only in your plotting in the time series plot, so maybe you doesn't have any seasonal component, okay, there is no seasonal, so you can proceed with the trend analysis. Okay, inside the trend analysis, we have a lot of equation, linear equation, maybe quadratic, your S-curve, and so on. So you can explore it with the trend analysis, or maybe you can proceed with double exponential smoothing. So if let's say your pattern only have the seasonal pattern, maybe you can proceed with the decomposition model, or you can proceed with the winters model. And then if let's say you have the randomly pattern, so maybe you can using the moving average, or you can using the single exponential smoothing. But all this method must be start with the time series plotting. So you need to identify the pattern. So that one is available in the time series. So you will see, go back to the time series, go to the start time series. You see, we have the trend analysis, we have the decomposition. Okay, we have the moving average, single exponential, double exponential. We have winter here. So that one is considered the simple and smoothing method to analyze the time series. Okay, but if let's say you go scroll on this one, you see Minitab will give you some information. Okay, it will show for the trend. Okay, you can go one by one. So Minitab we give some information before you choose it. Okay, so which one is the best? Okay. So we have another way, or something like correlation analysis and ARIMA model. Okay, some maybe some others software. So we consider correlation analysis, it would different between the ARIMA, but correlation analysis inside of the ARIMA model. Okay, so for ARIMA is something like auto-regressive integrated moving average. Okay, so modeling makes us a of pattern in the data set. So actually, ARIMA is coming something like use the differences and then auto-correlation and then the partial autocorrelation function to help identify an acceptable model. And then ARIMA model can be used to model many different time series with or without trend or seasonal component and to provide forecast. Okay, so in Minitab, actually, we have the autocorrelation. Okay, PAC, we have PCA. Okay, partial autocorrelation. And then we have the ARIMA. And of course, I just show the forecast with the best ARIMA. So actually, if let's say you don't want to see something like, okay, that one is trend, that one is the seasonal, that one is cyclic. So if let's say you don't want go like direction, so you will use the ARIMA model, but you make sure you need to have something like stationary data, okay, to proceed which one is the ARIMA. Okay, so for this case, okay, we have to basically looks like two. Okay, we have a simple forecasting and smoothing method, or you can proceed with the ARIMA model, okay, with the Minitab statistical software. Okay, so but today I just focus on the simple forecasting and smoothing method. So I wish you try with the trend analysis first. Okay, so use the trend to fit the trend model to the time series and to provide the forecast. Okay, so you can choose whether it's a linear relationship, or you can choose whether it's something like curvature, is something like you have a quadratic, and then maybe you have something like inverse, so you can go for the exponential growth. And then of course Minitab provide also for the per rate logistic or this S curve for this case. So for this, consider using the trend when the time series show no evidence of seasonal. So you consider that, okay, your observation see that no seasonal, so you can proceed with the trend analysis, whether it will be linear, quadratic, exponential, or the S curve. Okay, so we try with this one simple case study here. A passenger train company wants to predict the next 9 months of the passenger volume for a commuter rail line that services a growing suburban area. So we use the railway, and then the variables I collect is the passenger here. It's the number of passenger riding the train each month. So I think I open the. Okay, so for this case, so they collect in the monthly. Okay, they provide, I think 90. Okay, so 60 passenger, so means that 16 months they collect the number of passenger right in the month. So they collect all this information. So basically we start with the some time series plot. Okay, you go for the time series, maybe go for the simple. Okay, for this case it's a passenger. Okay, so you click okay. Sorry. Okay, for the time series. Okay, then I click okay. So I will get the scatter plot. Oh, we time series plot for this 16 months of the passenger. So you can see that something like, I think it's will be the trend. Okay, will be the trend. It increase. Okay, but the slowly increasing on this. Okay, slowly increasing. So you can check the seasonal. I think no seasonal on this. Okay, and then maybe you can see the cyclic. Okay, so I think also no. So we can proceed with the trend on this one. Okay, so you can check by your observation. Okay, so that's why I think we need another scale is physically experience on this pattern. Okay, so if let's say you always use the pattern, okay, so you can recognize it easily. Okay. Okay, so something like positive linear. Okay, for this case. Okay, I go to the screen. Okay, so after that, so you can see that the linear, okay, so for this case, we try with the trend. So since we already some have trend and no season, no, so we proceed with the trend analysis. Okay, but of course we try with the basic one. Okay, for the linear first. Okay, so how to get it? Go for the start, go to the time series, you choose the trend analysis. Okay, so for this case is passenger, our variables here. So model type is the linear. Okay, and if for this round, we just want to see the model, okay, with the accuracy. And then you click OK. So you will get the method here is a linear trend model. You have the equation here, and then you have the accuracy measure, and then you have the plotting here. So you can see the linear relationship, okay, positive relationship for this case, okay. So something like increasing, okay, if let's say the model increase in average of the time, okay, but before we proceed with this one, we need to try and error for the others model, okay. Since you go back to the dialog box, okay, so how to get it? Go to stat time series, go for the trend analysis. So just now we create with for the linear. Maybe we create for the quadratic. So we try and error for this, okay? And then you click OK. So you will get the quadratic trend, or you get the your equation here, and then you will get the your accuracy measurement here. I will go after this. What is the made MSD for this? So you can try and error for this. Okay, so that's why I just we have the option. Okay, when you decide. Okay, when you decide have a trend but not seasonal, maybe you can go for the trend analysis, or maybe you can go for the double exponential smoothing. Okay, so for this case, I try with the another model here. Okay, another model here. So go for the stat, go for the time series. I try with the double exponential smoothing. Okay, so I try with the exponential, double exponential smoothing. Okay, and then I click OK. So you will get the smoothing constant, okay? And then they can provide you the accuracy, and then you can provide on this smoothing or double exponential smoothing method. So after you create 2 or 3 models, okay, 2 or 3 models, maybe you want to compare it, okay? We compare it with the your accuracy must be a lowest number, it will good, okay? So you can find which one is the lowest number. So we consider the lowest number of the accuracy, it will be good. Okay, it means that is here is error. Okay, error for this. Okay, for example, here we have the smoothing, and then we try with this one. Okay, for the split, maybe you want to compare it by this side. Okay, or maybe you want to right click. Okay, so you can go for the layout tools to compare it. Okay, tools. Okay, so for this case, you want to only 2. Okay, so here, maybe you want to another way here. Okay, so and then just click finish. Okay, so this one is something like additional features. Okay, so you go for the or others you want to merge together, or so you go for that one. So right click, so you go for the layout tools. Too easy for comparing. So for this case, you choose the one on, and then maybe for this you want to trend. Okay, so certify return, and then you click finish. So you will get this layout tools. So from here, okay, so you can see, okay, on the accuracy value here. Okay, you can compare the accuracy value here. So I will go back to this one. What is the MAPE? What is the MED? Okay. Okay, so when you evaluate the model fit, we examine the measure that calculate the accuracy of the fitted value. So for those who already have some knowledge on the regression, we use on the R-squared. But for this time series, we use the mean absolute percent error. So means that is a measure the accuracy of the fitted time series value and expresses in the percentage. And MAPE, and then or maybe you look on the MAD. Okay, mean of absolute deviation is a measure the accuracy of fitted series value and express it in the same unit as the data set. And then or maybe you can look on the MSD. The mean squared deviation is always computed using the same denominator. So you can compare MSD value across the model, therefore comparing the accuracy of the two different models. So actually, we not focus only one. We will look on the both of, sorry, we have look of the three of this accuracy. Okay. Actually, in the regression also, we have this kind of the measurement, but sometimes we not look on the MAPE, we look on the R squared. But for this time series, we just have the MAPE, we have MAD and MSD. So all this must be lower is the best. Okay, lower is the best. But how lower is lower? We doesn't have any rules of thumb for that. But you need to compare within both of these. For example, here, okay, you can see the accuracy of measurement here. You can see the MEPE, okay, only 5. Here is a 4. Okay, this one is a double exponential method. This one is the linear trend model. But for this case, this one is a MED is a 22382. But for this case, it's a 18021. Okay, so for this case, we can see that trend model is the best. Okay, since there we have the lowest number of the MAPE, MAD, and MSD. So after you satisfied with this model, so you can proceed with the residual examination. Since time series we consider it's a statistical modeling, so you have assumption for that. Okay, so you look on the residual. The same, your normal must be R, no residual must be R normal distribute. Your error must be a constant. Okay, have a pattern inside there. So, but how to get it this one? Okay, so I go back to the Minitab. Okay, after you already choose, okay, you compare double exponential and then the linear trend model with the good. So you go back to the start, go back to the time series, you go proceed with the trend, but with the linear. Okay, so how to get it, the residual assumption? So you go to the graph. Okay, you go to the graph and then you choose the 4-in-1. Okay, 4-in-1, or maybe you want to see the individual, so you can go for the individual plot. But for this case, I just show with the 4-in-1. Okay, click OK, and then you click OK. So Minitab will generate again the linear trend models, and then this one is the residual. Okay, so the first one, you need to look on the residual must be a normal distribute. Okay, whether you want to look on this normal PPP plot or you want to look on the histogram. Okay, and then here is the randomly scattered around the 0. Okay, and then have us be the same scatter for the off-filter. So your residual is a constant. Okay, so have something like same with this one. And then your versus order does not any pattern. Okay, so that one is independently. So you must go check it on this before you go for the next step. We call it the forecast. Okay, so before you go for the forecasting. Okay, so once you fulfill this assumption, okay, both of three of this assumption, so you go back to the dialog box, your trend. So maybe you can go for the stat, go for the time series, go for the trend analysis. Okay, and then you will go for the generate forecast. Okay, for this case, we want to generate for another 9 months. Okay, another 9 months. Okay, so number of forecasting is a 9. Okay, so you want start from the origin or you want start the others number, so you can put on here. Okay, you can put on here. Okay, so for this case, I put the 9 only. Okay, and then I click OK. So now Minitab will generate the forecasting for the 9 months. Okay, so for this case, you will see today we have the forecast value on here. Okay, so we do go to stat, go to time series, so go for the trend analysis. Okay, so you choose the variables model type. you click on the generate forecasting. So how many forecasts you want, and then you click OK. So Minitab will generate the forecasting value. Okay, so for the time series, actually they will different. For if let's say you go for the predict analytic, so one you predict, you will see on the worksheet, but in the forecast for the time series, they will appear on the output pane. So you will see on this one. So from here, maybe you do some uh, information or some gathering data on this one you want to use on this. Okay, so over the 9 months, you can expect an increasing increasing the number of passenger volume. Okay, so from here is increasing, and on average maybe about the 741 more passenger for each month. So you can get some insight from here. Okay, so from the forecasting. Okay, so this one is how you use the time series for the forecasting. Okay, actually you can direct go for the stat, go for the time series, go for the trend analysis, you click the linear, you generate the forecasting, you generate the assumption. But just I mentioned, the time series plot, you need to try and error, and they find the lowest number of MAPE, MAD, and MST. You need to compare, because we doesn't have any route around terms of something like guidance. Okay, 0.2, it will be the lowest number. No, okay, it will compare. Okay, it must compare between the model itself. Okay. So you focus on this. Okay, so for the forecasting, actually they provide you the green color, so you will see on the forecasting. Okay, and then modeling time series analysis require different method and comparison of the model. So just now we compare the trend analysis with the linear versus the double exponential smoothing. Okay, to compare with one, and then we always check the accuracy of measurement to see the model is minimizing the error. Okay, so you need to check your MAPE, MAD, MST, and then it's a good practice to predict or forecast on the data you currently have collected to confirm the best fitting model before you make the forecasting and observation of data set. Okay, so but I want to add another point. In the time series analysis, let's say you collect monthly data for 1 year. You want to forecast for another 1 year. So it's not so good, because that one, maybe you can have a short-term forecasting. Okay, short-term forecasting, maybe you can go for the 3 months only. If let's say you have 1 year data set. So maybe you can just forecast on only for the 3 months. So if let's say you want have something long-term forecasting, so you need to have a big data set. You need to have a more data set. Okay, because we consider this must be the lower is a better. Okay, and then time series is about the pattern. Okay, whether you want to straight line here, maybe just in the below here or above this line. Okay, so that's one, they look on this pattern only. Okay, they look by this pattern without you look on the relationship between the other variables. Okay. Okay, so for the Q&A, okay, I think we have a lot question on this. Okay, we have what is the stem? Okay, stem is something like your X variables. You have a fixed one. Okay, so I open this one. Okay, open the Minitab. Okay, so I go back to the stack, go this time series time sys plot. Just a simple one. The simple is a time of scale, so you won't provide. So stem is, let's say, the fixed. Okay, but if let's say you want to Minitab generate calendar for you, so you can go for the calendar, or maybe you want to create by the day, the data increment, how long, every 2 days you collect the data set. So you just put the 2 here and so on. Okay. Okay. So hopefully I answer your question. Can we do a run chart? Okay. So actually, we can do the run chart, but the focus for the time series is you want to focus. Okay. But for the run chart, maybe you will look on the variation. It's a common or cost variation. It will can. Okay. But just only different objective for that. Okay. Maybe you want to clarify about the Python. Okay. So you can proceed with the run chart. Okay, this one is a good question. If we do not know what the pattern with the data collected, so we start with the ARIMA, yes. Okay. So if let's say you not consider is a seasonal or cyclic or something like one, so you can proceed with the ARIMA. Okay, but for the ARIMA, your data must be have the stationary data. So that's why you go for the stat, you go for the time series, you can see we have differences, we have the lag. So you need to have the differences between them. Okay, the leg 1 or leg 2 or 3. So we get the differences to see the stationary data. Stationary means that you have your mean, your variance is constant. Okay, or maybe you can check directly with the augmented declare fuller test for this case. And then you can proceed with the ARIMA model. Okay. Okay, so never mind, you can check. You can check with the others because now you use the software, is it not use the manually, just click on that. So you go for the stack, go for the time series, go the trend analysis. Okay, maybe you can go for the exponential growth. Okay, so to see on this one, and then you click okay, maybe the one I just want to proceed this, click okay, and then maybe you can go back to this time series, okay, time series trend, and then you will see on the S-curve, okay, and then maybe from here, okay, from here, maybe you can go for this one, the layout tool, so you can compare both of them, okay, so you can compare uh, all the information on here. So easy for you to compare it, which one is the best for you, okay? Yes, so we need to ask question with the MAPE. Yeah. Okay, so what is the autocorrelation data? Okay, autocorrelation is something like correlate with this between your data set. It's not between the variables. Okay. Okay, how to add the legend in the graph? Okay, what mean by legend? Is the axis, x axis or y axis something like one or something what? Okay, so I'm not so clear about the legend. Something exists or something variables. Okay, so I go back to this one. For example, here you have a more than one. Okay, I think that one is referred for this. Maybe go back to for this one is the multiple. Okay, so go directly multiple, or maybe you can go for the simple. Okay, you go for the simple, right click. Okay, so you maybe the double click on this one. Okay, so you can add on this one. Okay, for the legend on this. Okay, hopefully answer your question on this. Okay. So since we have the time, I'll try with generate for the ARIMA. Okay, try with this ARIMA. Okay, so we go for the stat. I just proceed with the forecasting with the best ARIMA model. So I go for this one. Okay, the time series is passenger here. Okay, so this case, you need to have the secondary. Okay, for this case, I try with the one. Okay, on the autographs, you can start from the 0 up to 2 or something like one. So you can customize it on this. Okay. So for this case, I try with this simple one and then I click OK. So Minitab will generate on this. Okay, so Minitab will model selection here. Okay, so Minitab we generate the P and the Q. Okay, is AR and then MA. Okay, so this one. And then they provide you the AIC and BIC or AIC, BIC. So the same, you need to look on the lowest number of AIC or BIC. Okay, so the same. And then they provide the final estimate of the parameter itself. And then they provide the MSD, AIC, AIC and BIC. And then of course, they provide the chi-square statistic on this. And then they provide the ACF or residual per passenger or PAC CF for the PAC CF for this one. And then the order. So that one is already forecasting on this. Okay. So that one is they help you do or run on this case. Okay. To how to get it, go to the stack, go to the time series, go for the forecasting with the best of RIMA. So no need go one by one. If let's say you want to see on the one by one, so you go for the RIMA. Okay, so the time series here one. Okay, you auto maybe one. Okay, differences one. Okay, moving average maybe one. Okay, and then you click OK. So Minitab we generate on this AR1, MA1. Okay, so you will get on this. So only one model at one time. But if let's say you see on the ARIMA, best fit, okay, so Minitab will generate all this information based on your requested. Okay. So have any other question? Okay. Hopefully you can try after this with your collecting data, but make sure your data in time order. Okay, monthly or weekly or hours or so on for this case. So I just go for the summarize. So whatever you want to see the time series, go for the start time series. So if let's say you want to need to have the time series plot, you proceed with time series plot first, and then from there you can look the pattern. So whether it's a trend analysis. So for those, I have only trend, no seasonal. But if let's say you have the seasonal, you can proceed with the moving average or decomposition. Okay, if let's say you're not sure about the pattern inside, so you can proceed with the ARIMA model. Okay, so all this one is available in Minitab Statistical software. Okay, so I think that's all. So thank you for your time and attention. So to learn more about the Minitab, please contact us by visit our website www.minitab.com or email to us to minitab@bizit.com. So to get some tips and tricks on your Minitab product, please follow us through media social like Facebook and link at Minitab Malaysia and Singapore. So to access back our previous webinar, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Minitab Malaysia and Singapore. So really appreciate if you can fill up our survey in order to enhance our webinar session. So thanks.